You're looking at a whole new man right now. Besides making it to over 500 subscribers, thank you so much for everybody watching my content. I've officially made it to over 4 months of no marijuana and still going. 125 days at the time of this recording. Saying I'm a different person at this point is an understatement, and changing my life has been contagious. Let's talk about it. What's poppin'? I'm Moses Chris, and welcome to my channel where I talk about all kinds of things that I'm working through on my way to trying to live my best life. If you're new to this channel and this series, I've been talking about my journey and the milestones of quitting marijuana use after 15 years of daily heavy use. Once again, at the time of this recording, it's been 125 days since my last puff, my last edible, my last anything that has to do with marijuana being in my body. This is for anybody else on the path, whether you're just thinking about quitting, you're in the beginning of quitting, or you're well on your journey to quitting marijuana use. You are not alone, and if I can do it, you can too. Like I mentioned in the intro, coming this far has come with a gang of changes that I'm proud of and just happy to be living better. First, I've also given up drinking alcohol regularly, only having a couple drinks on super special occasions like my wedding anniversary. Celebrating things is cool, but at this point in my life, 43 years old, I'm just trying to keep my liver functioning as possible and clean as much as I can. These days, there are a whole lot of non-alcoholic options, and bars everywhere are doing more to put more things on the menu for sober people. After quitting weed, it's just easy to see other things that are harmful in my life and giving them up. I'm just trying to do anything I can to keep a healthy body and mind. Speaking of which, next up is I'm no longer eating meat. I dabbled in veganism like 6-something years ago after watching a couple Netflix documentaries that just illuminated my mind about how jacked up the meat industry is, and yeah, I'm good. In that first go around, I gave up after a couple months when my wife became pregnant, and it just became harder to keep cooking special meals for each one of us, so I gave up beef and pork and decided to stick with chicken and seafood. Now though, after watching a couple more documentaries on Netflix, I'm back on the vegetarian tip. I already do like 99% of the cooking in my house, so now it's just a challenge of finding fun new recipes to try out. TikTok and YouTube have been huge in this, and it's just nice to see other people putting their meals together, going through the motions of cooking, and you can see things from start to finish, and all kinds of ingredients that I never even thought to use before. My new go-to favorite for meat substitute is mushrooms, and I ain't talking about the psychedelic kind. Oyster mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, lion's mane mushrooms, maitake mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, trumpet mushrooms. There's like so many options. There's seriously like so many types of mushrooms out there with all kinds of different flavors and profiles. It's like an infinite cheat code. And it's been easy. My taste buds are literally changing every meal that I eat. Lastly, my water intake and exercise have increased to help me balance out what I'm going through in my body. I'm not a gym rat at all, but I've got myself into a habit of doing like a couple miles a day just to get my heart rate up and get a little sweat going. Ain't nothing serious either, just like 30 to 45 minutes of light jogging around the neighborhood. This has helped my breathing open up even more since I quit smoking weed, and gives me extra boosts throughout the day. I haven't really been doing it too long to see any changes in my weight or anything like that, but it's really just continuing to set up healthy habits for myself. With that, water intake is super important. I've read in general that people should take their body weight, divide it by 2, and whatever that number is, drink that many ounces of water a day. For instance, I'm 220 pounds. If I take that number and divide it by 2, that gives me 110. I make that into 110 ounces of water to drink every day, which is like 7 16-ounce glasses. And it really hasn't been that hard to do. I drink like 2 in the morning, 2 around lunch, 2 in the afternoon and around dinner time, and then 1 more before I go to bed. I'm telling y'all, I feel ridiculously good and like a whole new person from when I was just smoking weed, eating whatever I wanted to, not working out, taking a little walk here and there while also lungs filled up with smoke and trying to enjoy myself when I was really just weeded out. I just have one more vice that I need to cut out of my life, and that's candy. Like, I'm a serious sugar junkie. But I'm not beating myself up. I'm just working on that as much as I can every day and just trying to get my intake down. One day at a time. Now, I'm not out here trying to tell people they gotta be like me and making all kinds of crazy ass changes in their lives. The whole purpose of this video is for me to share my experience and perspective on some of the things that I've changed since I quit marijuana 4 months ago. Like I mentioned before, when you start doing things and you start feeling the benefits of that, it's easy to pinpoint other things in your life that may need some changing and actually work on them. I'm proud of myself for quitting, and at this point, there's no going back. I just feel really good on this side, and I love myself a lot more than I did when I was smoking weed. My friends tell me I'm doing better. My wife tells me I'm doing better. I'm getting job opportunities left and right. I just got accepted to grad school. It just feels like I'm a whole different person. It's real. So, if you're thinking about it or in the middle of your journey, I'm just wishing you all the best and rooting for you while you figure out what's best for you in your life. Life is hard out here, and it's not easy to give up things that help us to cope. As hard as it might seem, though, you can do it. One moment at a time, one day at a time, and before you know it, you'll be days, weeks, months, and hopefully years into a new life. We got this.